Members, it's the appointed time. We have a quorum. I call to order the meeting. Agenda item number 1. Information papers issued since last meeting. The administration responded to a letter sent from Mr. Dennis LEUNG regarding the MTR East Rail Line incident on the same day. Please take note of the response. Agenda item number 2. Discussion item. Progress update on enhancement of MTR facilities and passenger experience. I now give the floor to the administration and the representative from the MTR to take us through the papers. First of all, let us invite the administration and the representatives to join us. The administration and the MTRCL will take us through the paper using a PowerPoint presentation. I now give the floor to the administration. Thank you. Good morning, Chairman. The MTRCL has been providing reliable rail services to the public. We've been enhancing accessibility of the MTR station and improving the environment at the MTR stations. We also make good use of different measures to enhance information dissemination and provide more personalized and caring traveling experience. We aim to enhance the experience of commuters. We attach a lot of importance to passengers' feedback. We exchange views with commuters through different channels. We want to improve station facilities in order to cater for the needs of different passengers. The MTRCL will take members through the enhancement of MTR facilities and passenger experience. Afterwards, we are happy to take members' questions. Ms. Johnny Young, thank you. As Deputy Secretary said, the MTRCL has been providing safe, reliable, and convenient railway services to members of the public in Hong Kong. We have Airport Express and high-speed rail. In addition to local railways, we have a total of 99 stations and 68 light rail stops. We serve over 5 million passenger journeys on weekdays. In order to enhance passengers' experience, we have been putting in resources to improve the station facilities and promoting smart mobility in Hong Kong. We want to create a hassle-free travel experience with a personalized and caring approach. I will now take members through our enhancement measures from the perspective of a commuter of the MTR. First of all, in new entrances, we have been making enhancements to these entrances. Commuters will definitely go through the station entrances. We've been keeping a close watch on the station entrances of the MTRCL, and we also make improvement measures. Last year, there were a number of new measures, including those at Yuen Long Station and Wong Chuk Hang Station. At entrances C, there were new facilities or new measures to enhance the level of convenience of commuters. At the same time, we have been taking forward various projects. In Hong Mun Tin Station, there will be an additional 2 entrances. They are slated for completion within this year. In Tai Wo House Station, there will also be an additional entrance C. It is expected that the works will be completed in 2028. We aim to provide barrier-free access for passengers in need. For instance, at Meifu Station, at entrance A, we provide an additional external lift connecting the ground floor to the concourse. At Sunny Bay Station entrance A, there is a reconstruction project which aims to provide a more spacious area for passengers. Apart from entrances, elevators and escalators. We've also made improvements to these facilities. We have introduced faster traction lifts. This will make the commuting experience better. There will also be a midterm refurbishment in relation to lifts and escalators. About 40% of the total number of escalators have been refurbished as at late 2024. We attach a lot of importance to passenger safety. So, since last year, we have gradually adjusted the speed of over 200 escalators. In 2024, there was a marked decrease in the number of escalator incidents comparing with 2023. Regarding enhancing comfortable station environment and facilities, we have put in place a chiller replacement plan. At the station, we also provide more water dispensers. We want to improve the environment of the station for passengers. And we've been replacing the gates to provide diverse payment options at heavy rail stations, including Octopus, QR code, and so on. Recently, we have provided 2 more payment options for those using City Savers. In April, passengers can buy eCity Saver on MTR Mobile without having to go to a physical counter. This is more time-saving for passengers. There will also be a brand new China T-Union card. Many mainland passengers use the China T-Union card. Now they can use this card to take MTR, and the fares will be settled automatically in Hong Kong dollars from renminbi. This is very convenient to commuters. And whether you will tap your card or scan the QR code, your commuting experience is key to us. Before a train arrives, we want to provide seats for passengers to sit on. Then they can take a rest while waiting for trains. We've been increasing the number of chairs on the platforms. So when passengers are waiting for trains, they can take a seat. In relation to the installation of APG's automatic platform gates on East Rail Line, the construction works are underway, and we are conducting the works on the last 3 stations. They are slated for completion within this year. In relation to passenger information dissemination, say we have passenger information display screens. Passengers can choose a compartment on which there are fewer passengers. In light rail stations and high-speed rail stations, there are also similar measures. And at high-speed rail stations, there is even the immigration clearance status display system. With the system, passengers will know the time that will approximately take to go through customs. Then they can better budget their time. And we are also installing the display screens in MTR stations. From station to concourse to platform, along the way there are different measures and facilities to meet the diverse needs of passengers. There is free Wi-Fi coverage at the stations, and there are also toilets, some of which have been upgraded to smart toilets. There are baby care rooms, so for passengers who need the rooms can make good use of the baby care rooms to care for their babies. At 27 stations, we have introduced the door pre-closing alert indicators. They are on top of the APGs, so even if passengers cannot hear about the passenger announcement, they can see the flash and they will know when the doors are going to close. We aim to keep our measures up to the modern needs, and we also aim to move with the times. We work with different organizations. We maintain a close dialogue with different organizations, and recently we've announced that we'll launch the cat dog carrying trial scheme on light rail. So passengers can buy a pass and then they can carry a cat or a dog on the train. We will take stock of the scheme after we have started the scheme. We will also enhance staff training. Different stakeholders then will understand more about the scheme. We will also be able to accumulate real experience. Apart from hardware, we have made enhancements to our software as well. That is the MTR Mobile App 3.0. It covers more information. It is more personalized and will be disseminated real-time to passengers. This will spare the hassle of passengers when they need to access different functions on the app. The next train stations cover all heavy rail stations in Hong Kong. As I mentioned, passengers will be able to use MTR Mobile to buy City Saver soon. When they do so, they don't have to go to a physical machine or a counter to do so. In the app, passengers can directly buy the eCity Saver. There is a greater demand for barrier-free facilities, so in order to provide a more inclusive commuting experience, meeting the needs of different passengers, say those with different impairments, we have been providing different services for these passengers to use the MTR services. Say we have introduced different functions. For wheelchair portable ramp booking function, passengers don't have to call us up. They can simply make a booking on the app. We have also enhanced the in-station navigation function for passengers with visual impairments. Passengers can navigate in the stations going to different spots that they want to go to. In different stations, say those on the Kwun Tong line and on the South Island line, we have made available this function. In Shek Kip Mei Station and Quarry Bay stations, the non-emergency in-station assistant function is being piloted. Say when objects fall onto tracks or when passengers feel a little bit ill, they can seek help from our staff members through the non-emergency in-station assistance function. In Quarry Bay Station, Kai Tak Station, Airport Station, Austin Station, and Lowu Station, we've launched the virtual service ambassador Tracy. AI technology is used in this service. There are real-time audio prompts to help passengers when they need our help. The MTRCL will continue to stay connected with the community. We aim to attract different visitors, making good use of our extensive railway network to promote the concept of tourism is everywhere. Last year, we had Doraemon or Panda installations in different stations throughout Hong Kong. Passengers were able to feel the vibes of the mega events in the community. Last month, we started a new scheme that is Tuen Mun Voyager. Passengers can hop on and off this train. They can enjoy the scenery in Tuen Mun. At the stations, There are also QR codes in relation to unique travel routes and information. When visitors come to Hong Kong, they will access such information easily. Overall, we aim to provide the best services to passengers. We attach a lot of importance to their feedback. That's why we go to the community and collect feedback from passengers at stations. We have the event Hear Your Voice. Through the event, passengers can express their views to us. They can let us know what they want and what they need. Every quarter, we collect feedback from passengers. We ask passengers to give us ratings. We want all these initiatives will improve the commuting experience of passengers in Hong Kong. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 7 members who have pressed the button indicating they want to ask questions. Lemon Kwang, Cheng Hock Fong, Chao Siu Chung, Michael Tian, Luk Chung Hong, Chen Siu Hong, Gary Zhang, and myself. Yes. Lemon Kwang, please. Right. In terms of the stations and also train services, we see that MTRCL had done some work. I just want to compliment one point, and that is in the MTR stations, the escalators, for example, the entrance B Nam Cheong Station escalator or the lift would be commenced. So there had been some works done on it, and this is coming onto service again. And the commencement time has been advanced. It's supposed to be the second quarter of the year. And here I would like to compliment the MTCL and also to say that the engineers and also the team's work in advancing the commencement date of this facility is appreciated. Now, on the platform doors, for the 2 most patronized platforms, we see that the screen doors have been installed on the East Rail Line, but what about the remaining platforms? Will there also be early commencement or installation of these screen doors, or are there certain difficulties with the works so that you have to continually adjust the works so that before you can successfully install all the East Rail Line screen doors? And another question on the facilities, which I'm concerned about, and that is a high-speed rail station, and that is for the business travelers. In the waiting area, there is a so-called VIP room or business car or business traveler seats, but this is not of the same understanding as a mainland section of the high-speed rail, but rather there are some staff basically providing more information around that area, etc. So it is a far cry from the mainland sections of the high-speed rail. So I do not know whether the West Kowloon Station, in terms of the VIP service or the VIP section, would be given enhanced services to at least measure up to the mainland sections of the high-speed rail. Chair, we thank the member for the question, but actually there are only 3 more installations for screen doors that we have to install. And these are where the gap between the platform and the train is a bit wider. And we would, of course, want to be able to complete the installations as soon as possible. The planned time was by the end of the year, and the works are proceeding smoothly. And we would want to commence or be able to complete the installation as soon as possible. We thank Mr. Lam for the suggestion concerning the high-speed rail, the West Kowloon Station. I've heard similar views recently, and we will be putting in efforts in this regard. But if you're talking about food, that may be slightly more difficult. But in terms of furnishing, furniture, we can definitely put in more effort. Thank you, Mr. Leung, for the suggestion. And also for the seats, the cleaning of the seats, and also near the wide windows, the glass window screen, the clearing of, for example, debris or clearing of cups and packages after other passengers have left, if that can be done more speedily, would be appreciated. Yes, Chen Hock-Fong, please. MTR, as a most important mode of transport in Hong Kong, it is a very important stakeholder. In the past period of time, MTR CL had been enhancing the services, and we appreciate that. A couple of suggestions. We have heard from neighbors along the Island South Line. The platform is rather small, and also the frequency of train service is not that high, and very often passengers would fill the waiting area at the platform. So perhaps you can increase the frequency so that the platforms are not as crowded. That's a first suggestion. Secondly, for going north, ERL going north, we have Lo Wu and Lok Ma Chau, these two lines. And very often, waiting for Lok Ma Chau line passengers, they would be standing at the door of the trains. So how can you actually triage? For example, the Lok Ma Chau and the Lo Wu stations can be separated, because the Lok Ma Chau passengers, sometimes they have to wait for 2 to 3 trains before they can get on to their intended train. And this is particularly evident in the Admiralty station. So how can you separate these two groups of passengers? Because when these passengers stand at the train door, actually there are still seats inside the train, but people can't get in. Now, for toilets installation, it is a good thing. But for toilets where they're installed in the stations, very often you can lead yourself to the toilets by the nose, and that's not very good. So increase the frequency of the cleansing of the toilets, please, if you will. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chan, for the questions. First of all, for the Lo Wu Lok Ma Chau passengers, in terms of the passengers' control, we will go back and look at it. As for cleaning of the toilets, we totally understand that. We will try our best to further enhance the cleaning service. In the new contract, we will be looking at how we can improve toilet cleansing. We have actually enhanced that with our latest contract, but we can certainly do more. Right, for Island South Line, yes, thank you for the question. Where manpower allows, we will see whether we can enhance passenger experience and also increase the frequency of trains. We are actually looking into that as we speak. Yes, next, Chao Su-chung. Right. Chair, thank you. We see that the MTR CL has been continually putting in resources to enhance services and experience of passengers. When doing so, it's not just about the hardware, about toilets being clean. The attitude of our service is also important, the software. So we know that for the Tung Chung line, the Airport Express line, and also the ERL line, for all these lines' customer services, you are to outsource those. So for inquiries, complaints, etc., and the service along the lines and the stations is something that is core to the operation of the MTRCL. So outsourcing, is that good? Very often the sense of belonging of outsourced staff is not high, and I fear that this would actually affect the service standard and also the morale of your staff. The 9 unions had signed together, and there had been a submission in against this particular outsourcing practices. Look Chung-hong was there. If I had the time, I would have joined as well. So there are these voices of objection. Why, despite that MTRCL is going it alone, why do you not have more discussions with your staff? So with this outsourcing, how many staff members would be affected? And how would you be able to guarantee the level of service after outsourcing? And the affected staff, can you guarantee not to for there not to be any firing, and also not to further extend the outsourcing to other areas of work or jobs? And I very much appreciate the MTR had not been employing overseas workers, however difficult it had been. But for the customer service centers, if they are to be outsourced, can you perhaps also request them to employ only local staff? First of all, for the customer service centers, how do we monitor the service of the centers? I'll ask Ms. Leung to answer that question. As for another question asked by Mr. Chow just now, and that is on the point of manpower, this is indeed to resolve our manpower issue. And I have been talking to the representatives of our staff that we will not be downsizing, that the staff will not be deployed away from the existing stations. As for whether there will be further work areas which will be outsourced, we have no such plans at present. Ms. Leung will be talking about the level of service, which we know is something close to the heart of the members. The customer service counters is something that's very important to our service, and we use different methods to monitor the customer service. For example, we have surveys, we have internal staff training, and we have different methods to ensure that we provide the best service to our customers. Chair, a last point. Can the MTRCL commit to the following? That is, even though there is outsourcing, that the local staff be employed and not overseas workers. Chair, we hear the opinion, and we will put this into our tenderers process. Mr. Michael Tian? Right. We're talking about facilities and experience of the patrons of the MTRCL, and we see that the list of works outstanding had been cleared by the majority, and that indicates the amount of work that you have done, and also there are not a lot of members waiting to ask questions. That also shows your work, and we note that. Just on the point on the cat and dog carrying trial scheme on light rail, some people are sensitive to pets, their smell, etc. And there had been suggestions saying that perhaps you can, rather than go for a trial on the light rail, you can try it on the heavy rail. For example, the 1 in 8 cars can be used for this trial scheme, etc. So this may be a good suggestion, but you are choosing light rail for this trial scheme. But even for the buses, and again, as long as you can segregate the area for the trial scheme, it can be acceptable. But unless you say that for the trial scheme for cat and dog carrying, you can successfully segregate the cars on the light rail, but you probably can't do that. So perhaps you can pick not the light rail for this particular trial scheme. For the Tunma line, another point, for the Yuen Long exit C, it can connect to the shopping mall and also the residence, and it can also connect up to the Yuen Long main road. And exit E can also connect up to the light rail lift, which is very well patronized. And also for the Yuen Long C and exit C and E, the turnstiles are highly insufficient. Exit C had always had 2 such turnstiles for entrance and exit exit E only have 1 two-way turnstile. I do not know how many of you have seen these two-way turnstile. They are ridiculous, and I've been to look at them on site. Actually, there is a lot of space around the exits. Add 1 more turnstile at the exit C. As for exit E, I would suggest, well, now, let me just show you this. This is exit E at Yuen Long. In the peak time in the morning, you see this gentleman is giving way to the passenger from the other side. But by so doing, you see a line waiting behind him. And this particular passenger on the other side seemed to be taking her time. So you can be civilized, but you can lose time simultaneously. So why can't you make it just one way rather than this two-way turnstiles? I don't know how many more of these two-way turnstiles you have, but it doesn't make sense. You should really be taking these off.
Thank you. Regarding the cat dog carrying trial scheme, we chose light rail because all the light rail stations are at-grade stations. This is a good starting point for us. After we have collected feedback and the actual operating experience, we will take stock of the scheme and map out our future directions. I thank member for mentioning or bringing up the exit C and E of Yuen Long Station. We'll try our best to improve the entry-exit gates at the stations. At present, there are mobile gates to help us improve the situation. How many two-way entry-exit gates are there in Hong Kong? Well, I don't have such information at hand. We'll review the situation. Well, it's very embarrassing. Passengers will have to give way, and they're in a difficult spot. Thank you. Mr. Michael Look. Thank you, Chairman. Recently, there's been a survey. It shows in relation to travel experience, we rank the first around the world. But we still need to strive to make enhancements. I'd like to talk about the light rail stations. We are pursuing tourism is everywhere in Hong Kong right now, but for railway stations, there are no Putonghua announcements. It's not convenient for travelers from the mainland. I understand the network of the light rail stations isn't expansive. Light rail services only accept octopus card and cash payments. There aren't any payment options, say Alipay, WeChat Pay, and so on. I hope the MTRCL will update the payment system as soon as possible. And I hope that the MTRCL will continue to make enhancements to priority seats on trains. They are for young children, pregnant ladies, and senior citizens. we have already developed a good habit. Even if a seat is not a priority seat, we let passengers in need take the priority seats. But we do have stress. Even for a young person, he or she may feel ill. In this case, young people will also need a priority seat. We do need to look into the policy and weigh up the pros and cons. Just now, Mr. Charles Yu-chung talked about the outsourcing of customer service centers. The trade unions are disappointed with it. The administration just now said, for the time being, so for how long, the MTRCL needs to put in place measures to give staff members peace of mind in relation to the importation of workers. Customer service will be affected. Customer service centers need to answer passengers' questions as well as visitors' questions. All these are very important to the reputation or the service standards of the MTRCL. Even if imported workers do speak Cantonese, there are still colloquialisms that non-locals may find it difficult to understand, and non-locals may not be able to give a very accurate reply. So why don't you only take on locals? This is completely in control by the company. And if the MTRCL cannot give such an undertaking to the trade union, that it'd be quite difficult for us to agree with the MTRCL. The importation of workers will affect the local labor market. Can the MTRCL lead by example? Can you undertake that you won't import workers? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lok, for your questions. The light rail station doesn't have a large network. It'd be quite difficult for us to provide Putonghua announcements. But then we are aware of this situation and we'll see how we can make enhancements by providing Putonghua announcements. On the other hand, in relation to payment methods, we find that most passengers or visitors use the Octopus card. We'll look into the situation, and we will also be weighing up the pros and cons in relation to priority seats. Regarding customer service centers, we have heard your view. Thank you, Mr. Lok. Next member, Deputy Chair, Mr. Chen Siu-hong. Thank you, Chairman. Well, excuse me, I'm attending another panel meeting at the same time, so pardon me if my question repeats some other members. Regarding the MTRCL's measures to enhance MTR facilities and passenger experience, they indeed fare quite well. We recognize their work. I hope to provide some views or opinions to the MTRCL so that they can strive for enhancements. The MTRCL does move with the times. They use technology to improve passenger experience using state-of-the-art technologies. We welcome these new technologies and measures. I'd like to focus on two areas. One, the MTRCL launched the cat dog carrying trial scheme. I welcome this new initiative. There is indeed a great demand in society, so I go along with the scheme. The MTRCL will allow passengers to carry a cat or dog with passengers during weekends and public holidays on light rail networks. I agree with this scheme, especially when there are designated cars of a train. Having said that, even if some cats or dogs are put inside a bag, some other animals will keep barking at the animal bag when they know that there are animals near them, and this will affect passengers. Staff members will have to address such problems. So are there clear guidelines for staff members? Under what circumstances will you have to invite passengers who have brought a cat or dog with them to leave the cars if need be, or to leave the trains if need be? And you will also have to allay the concerns of passengers on the train. In relation to staff training, fallback plans, you need to prepare very well. I also need to commend the MTRCL by introducing the function of China T-Union card. At the entry-exit gate, passengers simply need to tap their China T-Union card, and then they can enter and exit the station. But what if there is no remaining value inside a card? Is it possible to add value to the card inside the stations? When China T-Union card, at present, they cannot be used on some routes. It is not applicable to all stations in Hong Kong. So how will you promote the scheme? And you also need to allow passengers to top up their China T-Union card at the stations. I'll take questions in relation to China T-Union card, and then I will give the floor to my colleague. We do provide clear information about the use of China T-Union card. Say in mainland China, Hong Kong dollars couldn't be used to top up their China T-Union card. Likewise, in Hong Kong, renminbi cannot be used to top up the China T-Union card. We'd like to focus on heavy rails. We have already put in place system adjustments. Data show that some passengers do choose the China T-Union card when they use MTR services. I'd like to give the floor to Sheris. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chen, for your comment. We have taken into account passengers' needs and demands. Say for the cat dog carrying trial scheme, passengers can only bring one pet cat or one pet dog on board during weekends and public holidays, and only one pet. Pet cats or pet dogs need to be put inside a dedicated bag. At specific locations, these passengers will have to hop on or off the train using one special car. In one special car. I thank the SPCA. We work with it, and it's been providing a lot of valuable input to us. In our staff training, it gave us valuable input. Say when dogs bark on the train, we will invite the owners of the pets to leave the train or to hop off the train at the next station. I hope there will be more publicity in society. All right, last member, myself.
I just want to follow up on some of the questions asked by colleagues just now. Just now, we were talking about the high-speed rail service. And in this particular panel, we have mentioned a few times on food and beverage supply in the station. Some time ago, I believe, we got the answer that there will be progress. So I just want to know whether there will indeed be progress. If there are problems, what are the problems? Because this is something that is definitely welcomed by passengers, and I'm sure the government on both sides would want to do it, but it's been some time now. What is the reason for HRL? And for the airport, there is this flying token. So this is one-off, whether you go through immigration, you go through different control points, you basically with face recognition, one can pass through without having to present the passport. So for West Kowloon Station, can we also provide that kind of service? A second question, following up on Chen Hock-Fong's question concerning the Island South Line, the frequency of service. The bottleneck, I understand, is in manpower, because for an auto train, even if you put a driver on an auto driving train, that would be a waste of human resources. And I have talked to the fire department earlier, and it seems that there can be certain, relaxation of certain rules. How would that help? And thirdly, for customer service counter, and Mr. Lee and myself, we've actually sat inside such counters. We've sold some tickets, so we have real live experience. And in talking to the colleagues there, they say that they really want to focus on rail service. As for customer service, it's really about serving passengers. It's about daily inquiries. So my own view is that this outsourcing is not something negative, because at the time, a lot of colleagues said to me that they want to outsource. They want to see that the customer service is outsourced. They would rather want to focus on rail service and on fare matters. So, but the question is, how can you assure your existing staff that you will not be downsizing and their jobs will not be affected? I think this is the crux of the issue. Hopefully you can provide more information there. Last question on technology. For Tsim Sha Tsui Station, and going in with Octopus, one way, it is treated as going through one station if you go in and out of the station. But I see that a lot of travelers or overseas tourists, from time to time, they would be confused and they would have complaints. They feel that they are in the same station, but on the other hand, they are charged twice, perhaps. So what is the situation there, please? Chair, just now you talked about the high-speed rail station, the service for F&B, etc. We hear this very clearly. In terms of space, it should be able to accommodate F&B service. We have been talking to the relevant departments. There are some areas which are actually control points area for under the mainland. So there will have to be some coordination. But we are going full steam ahead. We will continue with our efforts. Do you have a timetable for that, please? At present, we are still following up. We will do that as soon as possible. And also in the previous meeting for the Island South line for the ticket service, we have been talking to the different departments, the fire services department, as you have mentioned, and in our daily operation, we also have coordination with other departments. Perhaps the staff at the MTRC can supplement later on. But definitely this is our direction, how we can make it more flexible for our manpower deployment so as to facilitate service at the stations. Perhaps the MTR would want to supplement. Thank you, Chair, for the questions. First of all, on the token issue, we will see how we can take a leave from the other services and how we can perhaps, because the definitely for the tourists and for the passengers, we want them not to have to present the ticket that many times. Now, as for the second issue on Island South Line, we are talking to the fire department, and yes, we hope that through liaison with them and through certain processes, perhaps we can allow other staff in providing that service. So this is being followed up, and we will look for definitely more progress soon. Now, as for the some of the work at the CRC, or rather the customer service counters, they are really the visitors are asking for directions to certain destinations, etc. On the one hand, this is a very good service, but at the same time, by outsourcing, the staff that we have would not worry about their job security. Thank you. And what about the interchange at Tsim Sha Tsui East? Well, we'll go back and look at the interchange service at Tsim Sha Tsui East. Thank you. Next, our next agenda item is implementation of railway projects in the Northern Metropolis. We will ask the administration to come into the room. For this particular item, according to our Rule 83A of the LegCo, if there are any direct or indirect pecuniary relations with regard to this particular item, which is a public project item, please do declare. Now, for members who would want to speak, would you please press the button to indicate that you want to ask questions? We welcome the administration, the team. There is a PPT, is that right? Yes. Chair, I, together with my team, are coming to the LegCo, to this panel today, to talk about the implementation of the railway projects in the Northern Metropolis. And also, we are looking for approval for the investigation work on near Hong Shui-Q section. Now, first of all, just to report to members, we are full steam ahead in terms of the Northern Metropolis related railway stations. For Kwu Tung Station, by 2027, it will commence the and 2030 for Hong Shui-Q Station. These two items have started works already. And also for the main line of Northern Link, we would want to be able to complete that by 2034. Together with the Tuen Ma line and the East Rail Line, those will also be extended in terms of their network coverage. And also further, for the Shenzhen government, we have set up a cross-boundary or cross-border rail link. And we would want to be able to provide better cross-border coverage for the Greater Bay Area. It is a task force that we have set up, and we would want to have deeper integration in GBA. As for the Guangzhou-Shenzhen Rail, for the western part, it is the Shenzhen Bay station, or rather the checkpoint that is servicing this particular section of the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link to provide access for two-way for the passengers from Shenzhen and Hong Kong, and also to link up to the other parts of the network better. And further, we know that we are pushing ahead with a number of railway projects. And one of the concern points, of course, is to speed up the completion and also to minimize cost for the cross-boundary services. This is a very good opportunity to use mainland technology and some of the mainland standards to mesh up with the flexibility of our own system so that we adopt an innovative mindset in terms of policy, in terms of technology. We want to be able to innovate to cut down on our construction time and costs. A third point concerning the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail, it is a separate rail line. Through open tendering, we would want to be able to locally or overseas on the mainland, we would want to include these companies in the tendering for operators and also for contractors. We would want to invite them in terms of design, construction, and service provision. We would want to solicit their interest. In the first half of the year, we will be coming to the LegCo for funding for some of the surveillance and also the financial assessment work and also the relevant legal work for the Hong Kong section of the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail, so that in the second half of the year, we will be able to have certain letters of intent and together with the Shenzhen side of the Shenzhen government, we will work together for the commencement of this section by 2035. And we have PPT that we have prepared to talk about this particular funding application and the details therein. Well, Ms. Falk, thank you. I am going to go through the implementation of railway projects in the Northern Metropolis for local sections. The blue lines on the right-hand side is the Tuen Ma line, the Hong Shui Kiu one, and the 2030 is the completion date. And for the Northern Link main line, the Kutong station is now in the construction stage, and we would want to complete this by 2027. And we would want to be able to complete by 2030 the Northern Link spur line. And also, if you look at the red areas, you'll be able to see the two projects that we have delineated, and we would want to, together with the Shenzhen government, jointly take forward the project through the task force for cooperation. And for the Northern Link spur line, it's expected to commence detailed planning within this year and implement the main line and spur line simultaneously to commission the main line and the spur line together by 2034. And the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link, including the Hong Shui Kiu Qianhai section, we will have further details to be presented. In September of 2019, the central government had come up with the proposal for the linking up of Hong Kong-Shenzhen through the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link, the Hong Shui Kiu Qianhai, and this is an area which is the Qianhai Cooperation Zone is a very innovative area, and it is in the areas of logistics, finance, and a number of areas that there will be cooperation between Hong Kong and also Qianhai. So to integrate the railway networks in the western region for Hong Kong and Shenzhen, to provide local commuting functions, meeting domestic traveling demand, and also to facilitate establishment of 1 hour living service circle in the GB is our goal. So the end of 2022, we've completed the first stage study. Mid-2024, we completed the second stage study, and the key points agreed between the governments is that the line will be 18.1 kilometers long. There will be parallel construction and unified operation and co-location of control points to be established in Shenzhen and Hong Kong-Shenzhen sections to be commenced by 2035. The entire journey will take about 15 minutes. So both sides will have their design simultaneously done, and also there will be a tendering for the contractor. The two governments for the Hong Kong and Shenzhen sections, they will be commenced simultaneously in 2035. As for implementation program, after we have the funding had been approved, we will start the work. We will be inviting expression of interest publicly to bring in competition, and in the second half of 2025, we will be inviting these letters of these intentions or expressions of interest, and then there will be preliminary design and site investigation. We will complete the EIA, environmental impact assessment, and also gazetting. And we will start in 2027 the tendering process, and works commencement will be simultaneous in Hong Kong and Shenzhen. And the detailed design, construction, integrated testing, and commissioning will be between 2028 and 2035, so as to welcome the commencement in 2036. There will be a series of investigation and design works.
And for the alignment of the link, we'll go past Deep Bay. There will be design of the subsea railway tunnel at the Deep Bay, so we will have to collect geological information in this area, including contingencies. The total project cost is about $333 million. Regarding our plan, we plan to apply for funding from the relevant subcommittee starting from mid-2025. Then, after we obtain funding approval, we'll commence the preparatory work for engaging contractors and operators. We aim to invite expression of interest starting from the second half of the year and invite and award tenders in 2027, start detailed design and construction in the year 2027 to 2028. Then we will complete the construction works, integrated testing and commissioning of the Hong Kong and Shenzhen section simultaneously in year 2034 to 35. We have Mr. Michael Tin, Mr. Chow Siu Chung, Mr. Chen Siu Hong, Mr. Albert Lau, Mr. Frankie Yik, and me, myself. We have sufficient time for this agenda item, so 5 minutes for each member, questions and answers included. Mr. Michael Tin. Thank you, Chairman. This item is about the implementation of railway projects in the Northern Metropolis. Of course, the highlight is the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link. But then you didn't mention another very important railway, that is the Hong Shui-Kiu Hong Kong Island Railway. That is aimed at providing a rail from Hong Shui-Kiu to Siu Lam, Sunny Bay, Hong Kong Island through the artificial islands. This railway link will take residents in Hong Shui-Kiu to the western part of Hong Kong Island and the Hong Kong U. co-location arrangements will be put in place. Passengers won't have to hop off the train as a result. There were studies and exchanges. But then you didn't mention this Hong Kong Hong Island Railway at all. Now that a lot of mainland people are led to the Hong area, and most of them work in the modern logistics sector. 10 million population in Shenzhen. Do all of them come to Hong Kong to work in the modern logistics sector? No, that is not the case. It takes hundreds of billions of dollars to build a railway link. So after passengers get off the train, they will take Tuen Ma Line to go to the city. The trains on Tuen Ma Line are jam-packed. So it's literally impossible for them to get on the train at, say, Kam Sheung Road Station. We definitely need the Hong Kong Island link. Or when the Kao Yi Chou Artificial Island project doesn't start, then we won't see the Hong Kong link at all. Even up till 2044, we won't see it commissioned. Well, for residents in Laofaoshan and Hachun, they won't have free interchange. So will the administration be subsidizing residents? Will the residents have to take money out of their own pocket? Secretary? Yes, I'll take this question. Thank you, Mr. Michael Tan, for your question. On promoting cross-boundary railway projects, say especially the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link Hong to Tianhai section, we give priority to the Hong Kong section because Hong and Tianhai are modern logistics hub. For the Shenzhen section and Hong Kong section, we will explore allowing flexibility in these sections. So either we move towards the south or the north, we will still be able to take into account our developmental needs, especially in Hong when we move further southwards. Can we enhance our connection with the railway links in the Hong Kong International Airport? We will consider this possibility in our study. Indeed, Hong is an important area for advanced logistics. So Hong Station, not just the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link. The Hong Station on Tuen Ma Line will make it easy for people to hop off the train and to transfer to another rail link. Passengers can take other modes of public transport, and there will also be a smart green transport system. Through this mass transport system, passengers can go to other places of Hong Kong through other means of transport. Well, the Secretary didn't answer my question at all. The Chief Executive mentioned there would be a rail link connecting Hong and Hong Kong Island. The Secretary said they won't rule out this possibility. So what is the answer? Is that yes or no? It seems to me in the Secretary's answer, it's subject to studies. Well, I'm asking you about the timetable if this project will take place. Well, I have nothing further to add in relation to the first question. In relation to interchange discount, the MTRCL does have a wealth of experience in operation. And if we can provide good connection for the public, we will keep our mind open in the future for the design of Hong Kong Shenzhen Western, Hongshui-Q Tianhai Rail Link. We are open to the MTRCL's participation as well as other operators. Thank you, Mr. Chao Siu Chong. My question is similar to Mr. Michael Tien's. We have a high-end modern logistics center. Has the administration done any assessment when we spend a lot of money on such a large project? Do Hong Kong people go to that area to take a train to Tianhai? For residents in Shenzhen, how many passengers will opt for this rail link? Will it be more popular among business travelers and less popular among citizens in Hong Kong? The connection isn't that convenient. The transport options in Futian and Luohu are much more convenient. There's a wide array of transport options. When passengers come to Tianhai, the 2-mile line is actually too packed for them. Regarding co-location arrangements in Tianhai and Shenzhen Bay, there will be 2 stations. If the station is going to be built in Shenzhen Bay Port, we won't have to hop off and on the train and then go to Tianhai. Is that the case? I don't quite understand. Can you clarify? In the Shenzhen Bay Port, co-location arrangements were put in place. An amount of fee was charged in relation to exploring land use. It was quite a sizable amount. I'd like to ask the administration and the Shenzhen municipal government, does the administration need to spend billions of dollars on the very same amount? Will it cause any financial pressure on the administration? 3 questions. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chao. Regarding Hongshui-Q Tianhai Rail Link, it will play a very important function in the western section of Hong Kong Shenzhen, not just a Shenzhen Bay land boundary control point. For our heavy railway connections, we have 2, 1 Luohu, 2 Futian. For the Shenzhen Bay land boundary control point, there are actually a lot of vehicles. And there will also be new residential developments alongside high-end modern logistics. For both citizens and business travelers, many of them will have to apply between the west and the other area. With this cross-boundary project, we have in principle agreed with the Shenzhen municipal government that the co-location arrangements checkpoint will be set up on the Shenzhen side. So will we be able to provide co-location arrangements in Tianhai as well? In Tianhai, it will be connected to the 3 lines of Shenzhen MTR. In the Shenzhen Bay, there is another MTR line as well. For Hongshui-Q, it will be connected to 2-mile line. So not just for a cross-boundary railway project, for the city-wise MTR line, there will be a well-connected and comprehensive transport network. Regarding co-location arrangements, we take an approach that provides convenience to members of the public. In relation to the amount of exploring land use, we are in talks with the Shenzhen municipal government. we have a task force set up with the Shenzhen side, and we are working closely through the task force for Hong Kong-Shenzhen cooperation on cross-boundary railway infrastructures. When we have further information, we will further explain to members. Mr. Chow has a technical question. If a passenger set off from Hongshui and he or she needs to go to Tianhai, does the passenger need to get off at Shenzhen Bay and get on the train again? I will ask the Deputy Secretary to answer this question. We are in talks with the Shenzhen municipal government in relation to the location of the co-location arrangements. If it is being built in Shenzhen Bayport, then passengers will have to get off before they can hop on the train again. So now that there are other transport options, why do passengers still need to get on the very same train? So regarding this issue, we're still in talks with the Shenzhen side. We don't have any confirmed or proposal carved in stone yet.
Just now, we heard the Secretary saying that there has to be for there to be breakthrough. We appreciate that. For the Western Rail, for the Northern Metropolis transport, it is important that we have breakthroughs. The LegCo, together with the government administration, will work on these breakthroughs. Now, just now, the Secretary had talked about the standards for construction, for planning, and design, and there are differences between the two areas, the mainland and Hong Kong. Some people think or question, using old mindset, whether the mainland standards work. Well, for us in the engineering and high-tech sector, we see that actually the mainland standards are very forward-looking and some are internationally aligned. And for Hong Kong, there are areas where we have to really review them given new developments. So for this particular proposal, where there is a joint efforts, perhaps we can have a Greater Bay Area standard using or adopting some of the national standards as well. So I very much appreciate this breakthrough mentality. Now, whether it is for structural engineering or civil engineering and related projects, the Public Works panel can always have this Public Works. There is always this particular space and opportunity for incorporating mainland standards. But in the past, there had been not a lot of such practice for various reasons and concerns. And definitely we look forward to this breakthrough. Also for civil engineering and structural engineering, and also for fire services and E&M, electrical and mechanical engineering, for licenses of drivers, etc. I do not know about the standards for all those. Is it true that after the completion of works, all standards and all operation requirements will be those of Hong Kong's? And another question, and that is the project will be done or will be completed by sections. And after that, there will be cooperation. And my question is, perhaps the Hong Kong side can be responsible for the works. And if there are two sections that will be constructed separately, then when they connect the two sections, when they connect, it may be an issue. So, and also for cost allocation, the expenditure and the costs, do you have some plans concerning the allocation of the construction costs, please? And another point concerning the Northern Metropolis and the rail services there. I'm looking at the economic value of that and the cost effectiveness. In your studies, your preliminary studies, what are some of the economic benefits that will bring on after construction? Now, some colleagues have already expressed concern what for example, fare revenue or other economic value would this bring? And I'm sure the administration has some preliminary views that, and you can share with us. How can you give us this information to facilitate our approval? Chair, we thank Mr. Chan for the questions. There are three areas. For national standards, just to pick up the point, Mr. Chan, of course, is familiar with this, with our legal framework and our buildings ordinance. We have the space and flexibility to accommodate national standards, standards outside of Hong Kong's. As you mentioned correctly, in our recent exchanges with some national corporations, the nation, actually our country, is actually a strong country with capabilities for constructing rails, and also we're in overseas countries doing that as well, and they are aligned with European standards as well. So we're using the spirit of breakthrough in our existing legal framework. We will use our flexibility to the best to bring in national standards. So that's a first question for you. Secondly, together with Shenzhen, we want to simultaneously carry out the construction. This is to save time. But after that, we would want there to be a single operator, because this is an intra-city line. At the same time, it crosses a boundary as well. So for this particular rail, as we mentioned, there is a task force set up with the Shenzhen government, an office set up together with them. We would want there to be a standard, a single standard for operation of the line. So the question just now was, after construction, what then? Well, for E&M and for operation, we want there to be a single standard after completion of construction. As for the second half of the year, when we invite for expression of interest, we want to see market responses to see whether the design, build, and operation can be put into the same contract, or rather, if this project is very big, some companies may want to do the design and build, but for operation, they want to partner up with other companies. So we want to feel the pulse of the market. On your third question on cost effectiveness, we will be going to Public Works panel and the Finance panel to provide information on our proposal. But for the Hong Kong-Shenzhen rail, this particular rail line, we believe that in 2038, there will be about 290 to 300,000 in terms of passengers, and that will continue to grow. So from Hon Dennis to Shanghai two-way, we want to shorten the journey to within 15 minutes. So that is to say, in terms of the journey and the time taken, we want to compress it. We will calculate the cost effectiveness, and we will, with that result, provide that to the panels and the LETRO for consideration. Next, Lau Kok Fan. Yes, Chair, we're very happy to hear of the projects, in particular for the Hon Dennis to Shanghai, Hong Kong, Shenzhen Western Rail Link. This is very good for Northern Metropolis and for the western side of Hong Kong with the logistic and high technology hub there. It is important as a link. And the Shenzhen Bay, the port, there is a lot of thoroughfare, and right now it is still limited. In the future, with the compression of travel time, with a rail link, it would really help, and it would definitely be a lot more convenient for the passenger load that we can foresee in the future. And co-location, the control point to be located in the mainland is reasonable. The cost would be lower. And as for the Shanghai and Shenzhen Bay, if there are stations there, then perhaps for there can be control points at both of these points. That is also at Shenzhen Bay port as well, because for a rail that crosses the sea and the harbor, it is actually costly. So to have two control points, that would be good. And further, as mentioned by the administration, this is innovation in technology and also in policy and standards. For technology, new technology will be adopted, and the national standard and the Hong Kong standard can be both used. And further, for the undersea rail, the Shenzhen side can do the design. Now, apart from this innovation, if they are doing the design, perhaps Shenzhen side can directly be responsible for constructing the cross-harbor tunnel as well. So from design to build to lower the cost even further. For these two sections or these two parts, I think if a Shenzhen company or Hong Kong company can take it up holistically, then I think even for policy and approvals, I think the cost can be further minimized. Perhaps you can consider that point. As for open tender, I agree to that because MTR in Hong Kong is already shouldering a lot of projects, not only the spur line for Northern Link and also the other lines altogether. It is over 200 billion Hong Kong dollars in worth. So to be shouldering this particular line as well, or this particular link as well, it would further burden them. So, of course, if the MTRCL, if they can figure out their finances, because perhaps they can take it up, but perhaps they can also partner up with other companies, mainland or otherwise, to bid for this particular project. So would that also be feasible? So these are the three questions that I would want to ask for now. Chair, well, we thank Mr. Lau for the question. First of all, on co-location of control points, our inclination now for the arrangement is to locate it in Shenzhen side. As Mr. Lau had mentioned, would it be at the Shenzhen Bay port and also at Shanghai port? There will be two control points. Well, we will be talking to Shenzhen on this, but the main principle would be to make it convenient for travelers and also the connectivity of transport. And secondly, concerning innovation and breakthroughs for the surveillance and design costs, there is exactly a part on Hao Bay, the surveillance and also the for that part of the work, we will be asking the Shenzhen side to do the design and surveillance for the Shenzhen part of the line. Perhaps, we heard just now, it is a very meaningful suggestion, and that is whether the design and build can both be done by a mainland team. So this is a one direction drilling and boring work from the mainland side to Hong Kong. That is actually something that can be considered. The entire distance is 5.4 kilometers with 2.8 in Hong Kong, 2.6 on the other side. So there is synergy there as well. It's not that long a distance. As for the tendering phase, whether MTRCL can perhaps participate in the operation, we're open about that in terms of our attitude. We are open-minded. As for the application for funding, we would want to base it on our financial assessment. And for this particular project, in its building and operation, we will have some financial projections. So in the second half of the year, when we invite for intentions, expressions, we will then know whether it is for DB&O, design, build, and operation, or whether it is design and build as one contract and then operation as another contract. Experienced operators can take up the operation solely, or they can partner up with other operating companies as well. So we are open about that. And that is why we want to have the market response and indication of interest as early as possible, so as to build a solid foundation for 2027 tendering exercise.
Next member, Mr. Frankie Yik. Thank you. Just now, members asked about the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link, but then, in my opinion, the Northern Link matters as much. It provides connection between the East and the West. It will bring a lot of benefits. I hope the construction works could be expedited. Regarding the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link, just now, members touched upon this issue as well. Mr. Edward Lau spoke just now, and I fully agree with these members. I hope that the Secretary will innovate, take bolder steps, take these opportunities to innovate, to put in place the mode of parallel construction and unified operation. Then you won't have to spend 9 to 10 years on the construction on the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link. You will make it faster, definitely. In response, Secretary, I thank Mr. Frankie Yik for his comments. With the support of the Council, we will be bold in making reforms and innovation. We attach as much importance to the Northern Link as well. We hope to sign a service agreement with the MTRCL in this regard. Regarding advanced works, some have been already started. We are exploring undertaking these works in phases. As I mentioned, we want to complete the work for the spur line and the main line in 2034. In our PowerPoint presentation, we will start tendering in early 2027. So the latest in 2027 or 2028, works can commence. In 2034, the entire project will be completed. In other words, within 6 to 7 years, the whole project will be completed. We understand this is an ambitious target, and we will move faster as much as possible. Processes, policies, technologies, we will consider different methods in order to take forward the project faster. Mr. Michael Look. Thank you. I have a number of questions. For the study this time, does it cover the financing aspect as well as the fare box revenue between the Shenzhen side and the Hong Kong side. Based on our experience with the high-speed rail, we conducted works on our side, and they did the same. Regarding assessment of the ticket fares, will we incorporate these factors as well? The Shenzhen Bay Port is oftentimes very packed. The other rail link will be connected directly to the Hong Kong island, and that is another rail link I'm talking about. These artificial islands will be commissioned regarding the types of vehicles, technology, and it may be extended to Hong Kong West through the artificial islands. So there is not just one function. It will be connected to areas as well. Will you cover this in the study as well? Thank you, Mr. Michael Lok, for your questions. Regarding costs and revenue, we will continue to be in talks with the Task Force for Hong Kong-Shenzhen Cooperation on Cross-Boundary Railway Infrastructures. We have a consensus that it will be responsible for the expenditure in the Hong Kong section, whereas the Shenzhen side will be responsible for the Shenzhen section. Say for the trains, railway systems, we will share the expenses. Since the setup of the task force, we've held quite a number of meetings. We've held 3 meetings, and there are also 8 technology groups. They have held already 10 meetings. Our interactions with the Shenzhen side have been very positive, and we are working towards the same target. Just now, Mr. Luk mentioned the rail link from Hung Shui Kiu to Hong Kong West. Will we be able to provide connection from Hung Shui Kiu to Sunny Bay and the airport? The signaling system, train management, train arrangements, we will also be looking into these areas to allow flexibility. When the project is commissioned, not just a section we are according priority to, we hope to provide connections to other rail links as well. Next member, Dr. Loai Kwok. Thank you, Chairman. Regarding the railway projects in the Northern Metropolis, they are top of mind. For those that are already planned, please move faster, especially for the Northern Link. Please move faster. It's actually way too slow right now. Just now, members expressed support for the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link connecting between Hung Shui Kiu and Tianhai. Indeed, for Hung Shui Kiu Ha-Chun, it will be an area for modern logistics. And if we can enhance collaboration with Nanshan, definitely we will achieve a win-win situation. We do need to move faster. This rail link is an opportunity for the professional railway teams in Hong Kong and those outside Hong Kong a good opportunity to collaborate. We can build a GBA standard. Indeed, we have a wealth of high-caliber railway talents, construction, operation, testing, or even the Railway Plus property. The Hong Kong team does have a good track record. I look forward to the collaboration between the Hong Kong teams and those outside Hong Kong. In fact, this is more of an opportunity than a threat. But how can we seize upon this opportunity? The government does need to provide support. This rail link is a rather independent rail link. The MTRCL will have to work with the companies in the mainland, or like Japan, there are a number of different railway companies operating different rail lines in Japan. Providing connection to the Hong Kong railways is very important. Then Hong Kong can serve the function of sea, land, air connection in relation to transport. So how can there be further connection to the airport? This is an important consideration as well. Thank you, Dr. Low. Thank you for your suggestions and questions. Dr. Low is right. We need to develop the Hongshui-Q-Tianhai section well. This is indeed complementarity of strengths. We need to combine our expertise with that in the mainland, that is to build a rail link. Our standards are also what we take our pride in. We need to leverage real estate projects so the operation of rail links will improve. In the second half of this year, when we invite expression of interest, we will set out these policy goals very clearly. So on the one hand, we can collect feedback from the mainland, from Hong Kong, and we will also be able to tap the local professional bodies. The Highways Department and the administration will be in talks with organizations or bodies that have expressed their views. The aim is to synergize. That's exactly how we can improve the implementation of this project. The depot will be located in Hachun. This is a very good arrangement. So I hope this rail link will bring convenience to members of the public, and it will also be able to boost the local economy. In the first round, I'm the last one to speak, and Mr. Edward Lau has pressed the button to request to speak in the second round. We have sufficient time. I will allow a second round. I support the administration regarding the ports of co-location arrangements. If the checkpoint is only in the Shenzhen Bay Port and Tianhai, that is indeed not the most convenient method for members of the public in Hong Kong. We need to have customs clearance facilities at both the Shenzhen Bay Port and Tianhai. it will incur extra costs, but then we will have to think how to provide better convenience to members of the public. Otherwise, this will be much of a hassle for the public in Hong Kong. In relation to construction, for the subsea railway tunnel, indeed we shouldn't do so in the middle of the water body. Otherwise, it will be very costly. For the 5.4 km long tunnel or the rail link, we need to avoid high costs. And we need to draw on the strengths of the two places. The mainland is good at infrastructures, as Mr. Chen Siu-hong said, in relation to operation, planning, design, management, and the repair and maintenance of infrastructure projects. Hong Kong ranked the first or the second around the world. And we need to combine forces. We need to turn our strengths to good account. Construction, design, operation, we need to separate our tenders in order to reap the most benefits. Well, we want to have the best professionals specializing in each of these areas. For Hong Kong, the MTRCL does have a lot of experience, and we are confident about the MTRCL. Just now, other members mentioned further expansion arrangements. I agree, and I appeal to all that we need to make this happen. To Northern Metropolis, Airport City, these are two mega projects. They are very important to the development of a city. We lack a mass transport system. So after the commissioning of the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link Hongshou-Q to Tianhai, there will be one more option of mass transport system. I'm actually more ambitious. We need to start working on the expanded section. We need to go through the artificial islands in order to reach Hong Kong Island. Can we go to Sunny Bay first? Then we won't be limited by the restrictions about the artificial islands. The passenger groups are rather high-end, and they are exactly the passenger groups of the airport. I'd like to know more about this study. Will the study be the same one, or is there yet another study being implemented in the meantime? I'd like to ask about the Northern Link as well. Regarding the main line of the Northern Link, the service agreement will have to be signed this year. So do you have any timetable? It's April now. So will we be able to sign the service agreement towards the end of this year? What about the financial arrangements? When will you seek funding approval in the Legislative Council? Will there be discussion in the Council? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. A few points there. I will ask the Highways Department to talk about the Wangshan West Rail and how it connects up to the international airport. As for co-location of control points, we hear the views of the LECHO members, and we will try our best to do so. And further, for Deep Bay construction, we will proactively consider that. If we can utilize mainland construction team, definitely in terms of timing, there will be synergistic effects, and we do want to be able to arrange for this as much as we can. And another point concerning tendering. At the time of tendering, we will be open-minded. That is, for design and build plus operation or separate them, I have the following considerations. First of all, we want there to be the strong working together with the strong. The competitive edges of both sides can be used. And secondly, the financial assessment is also important. When tendering, we have a detailed financial projection. And in the midst, we'll be looking at property, land development, etc. We will be looking at the construction of the tender, how we can be able to come up with the best financial arrangement for Hong Kong and for the government. As for the Northern Link, the discussions is in a very developed stage. In the second half of the year, we would want to be able to sign, and the project in terms of its planning and its financial details, we will be able to come to the LegCo as soon as possible once we have those. Perhaps Highways Department can respond to the chairman's question raised just now. Concerning Hong Kong going through Lantau to the Hong Kong island, it is 30 kilometers, which is long. And for the cross-harbor part, it is 11 kilometers. From the Lantau going to Hong Kong island, we indeed need the man-made island. So it really depends on the progress of the man-made island. For Hong Kong to Sunny Bay to Lantau, there are a few things we have to do. We have to provide flexibility, and also we have to look at the signaling system, the power system, and the type of trains. We already have to consider those in our project. And for an extension of the project in the future, we also have to have certain trackside turnaround areas for the trains as well. We have to pre-plan for those. So from Hong Kong to Sunny Bay to Lantau, we also have to be looking at the projected passenger volume and also at what time there will be what demand. So we will be looking at the project in those lights. Right, 3 minutes for the next round. Lau Kwok Fan, please. Thank you, Chair. Concerning the Northern Link. For the Northern Link, I think this is a very important infrastructure, and it is a lifeline for the Northern Metropolis and connecting up to Wollongong cross-boundary, and it's very convenient indeed. Now, for the spur line, you are carrying out the relevant work very seriously so that by 2034, the spur line and the main line will be completed simultaneously. So for the completion of 2034, for this particular date, I think it is rather late. We hope that the spur line, if it is to be completed by 2034, perhaps that is reasonable because as of now, there is no detailed planning. I'm happy with that if given the situation, but I would want to see you go ahead with that as soon as possible. As for the Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Hong Kong Western Rail, perhaps for the spur line, you can also use that as an example. Even though there is no deep bay, there is no harbor, but still there is a journey, a distance where you have to go through the loop of the Shenzhen River to go to Xintian areas. So you can borrow a leaf from the Cross Bay Rail. And also for the Shenzhen side, we know the owner of the land belongs to the government. But there had been certain discussions or debates about the ownership of the land concerned. So it's not just about the Shenzhen River area, but also the Loop area. Perhaps we can also use the Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Hong Kong rail. The Shenzhen side perhaps can design for that and even build it, and it will be able to shorten the time as well. So on the main line of the Northern Link, can you speed that up? And also the model that I have mentioned just now, borrowing a leaf from the cross harbor line from Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Hong Kong for the construction. Right. If time allows, I will ask the Transport Department to talk about their innovative ideas. And also for the Northern Link, we would want to perhaps have the MTRC be able to construct that. As for the spur line, we would want to open or commence that together with the main line. So we would want to speed up the works therein. Now, as for cross-boundary rail mode, I think we can indeed borrow a leaf from that for the Northern Link spur line. Indeed, for the spur line, we can look at mainland technology and capability for construction to help MTRCL in its progress and to speed up the progress. The date of 2034 for simultaneous commencement for the spur line preparation. This is very aggressive a timetable indeed. We also want to be able to use construction technology and capacity from the mainland, given that we are confident that by 2034 or even earlier, we will be able to complete the line, because the spur line for Northern Link, it links up the loop area, the technology and innovation area. This is a very key project in connecting to that area. And the MTRC, the Highways Department, etc., we're all sitting together to explore such possibilities. Well, Chair, thank you, Mr. Lau, for supporting the project. And he is correct in saying that the main line and the spur are simultaneous being undertaken, and this is innovative. For the blueprint for Hong Kong in terms of infrastructure building, the completion date was actually 2038. So for the projects where we simultaneously push forward both projects, some of the resources can be co-used and there can be synergy as well. That's why the two projects are both advanced to 2034. And also we can go section by section. For example, for the line, let's say for the Xintian and Gaotamei technology and innovation cities, these sections, if we perhaps advance those, it would be beneficial to the completion of the entire line. So what is prepared, what is ready for commencement of works, we can start. For example, in the main line, if we're ready, we can start construction. And then at the same time, we can work on the spur line. We are also using some very innovative and highly effective railway construction technology from the mainland. For Wollongong, for example, for the spur line, perhaps we can also use such cooperative relationship and technology. The main line is responsible by the MTRC. As for the spur line, we'll be looking at whether there can be cooperation, construction opportunities, that is Hong Kong and the mainland rail construction units can perhaps work together. And then we have national standards and some new technology we can also consider as well. So we are going in these new directions too. Right. For the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link. This is a public works project. I would like to consult members. Do you all agree that we bring this to the public works panel? We all agree. So close of this agenda item here. AOB. The panel had been supported by the transport panel to extend our work, and our next step will be to make an application to the House Committee. If there are no other AOB, we will close the meeting here. Thank you.